The whispering face. I never thought my life would take a turn that would fill my nights with dread. This happened a few months back, and even now, I can hardly bring myself to talk about it. But I guess that's what sharing this on Reddit is for, one final cathartic release. It all started when I moved into a quaint little house on the edge of a small town. It was one of those places that looked perfect on the surface, but had a history buried beneath the floorboards. The realtor mentioned it used to belong to an elderly woman who had passed away alone. I shrugged it off. I was just excited to have my own space after years of apartment living. Everything felt normal for the first couple of weeks. Cleaned up, painted the walls, even carved a few pumpkins for Halloween as the days grew colder. But then the whispers began. At first, I thought it was my mind playing tricks. I'd be sitting on the couch, watching TV, when I'd hear an almost inaudible whisper coming from the hallway. It was soft and indistinct, like a breeze through the leaves. I'd figured it was just the house settling or my imagination running wild after those late-night horror movies. But each night, the whispers grew louder. They seemed to be calling my name. Sam. Sam. It was as if someone or something was hovering just outside the edge of my perception. I tried to ignore it. Who wouldn't? But ignoring it only made it worse. Then came the dreams. They were vivid and horrifying. I would find myself standing in a dark room, the air thick with a stale smell. I'd see a shadowy figure slumped in a corner, always facing away from me. I'd try to reach out, but when I got close, the figure would turn, and that's when I'd wake up, drenched in sweat, heart racing like I just ran a marathon. One night, I decided I had enough and grabbed a flashlight. Determined to confront whatever was haunting my home, I crept through the darkened rooms, heart pounding in my chest. The whispers escalated, now swirling around me like an ominous wind, taunting me. Sam. Sam, help me. I rounded the corner into the bathroom when the flashlight flickered. I cursed under my breath, shaking it, and that's when I saw the mirror. It was slightly fogged, and in the condensation, there was something written, "Look closer." My stomach dropped, and I felt a cold grip around my heart. I leaned in, squinting through the haze, when suddenly a face was right there. It wasn't a reflection. It was as if someone was standing behind me. I stumbled back, the flashlight flickering again, and when it illuminated the room once more, there was no one there. Just my trembling silhouette staring back at me. I thought I could deal with it on my own, but I broke. I reached out to the woman from a local paranormal group. Part of me thought she could help, while the other part was just desperate. She agreed to come over, but when she arrived, her expression shifted from professionalism to what I can only describe as concern. "I've seen this before," she whispered, her voice low. "Something is trying to get your attention, and it won't stop until it does." She set up her equipment in my living room, burning sage and speaking in low tones that I couldn't quite understand. The atmosphere felt heavy, oppressive as she walked around the house, occasionally stopping to scribble notes. Then she plunged into a deep trance. It was the first time I felt scared in my own home. As she spoke, the temperature dropped, and suddenly, the whispers grew into frantic murmurs. I could hear my name mixed with others, a cacophony of voices crying out in panic and sorrow. "Sam, please help us. We're trapped." The woman gasped, snapping back to reality, pale as a sheet. "You need to leave. It's not just attached to this house, it's attached to you." Attached to me? I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. What the hell does that mean? I don't know, but it's malicious. It wants something, and it's been using the house to reach you. She packed her things in a hurry and glanced back at me, her eyes wide and fearful, as if she had seen something I couldn't. "Do not let it in. Whatever you do, don't let it in." But I couldn't shake it. The whispers continued, invading my thoughts, lingering like an unwelcome guest. I was too frightened to sleep, too terrified to be alone. The reality hit me like a slap. I was never really alone. Days turned into weeks. I tried to escape the pull it had on me, avoiding the house whenever possible. But the whispers wouldn't let up. Their urgency grew, and soon, they shifted from coaxing to demanding. I could feel fingers of fear creeping up my spine, the paranoia seeping into my everyday life. One evening, I finally snapped. I told the whispers to shut up. I screamed at the top of my lungs, demanding they show themselves. My voice echoed through the empty spaces, and to my horror, the hush that followed was worse than any whisper. And then it happened. I felt something cold and clammy grip my ankle. I yanked my foot back and stumbled upon the bathroom threshold. The mirror beckoned me again, reflecting my pale face, but this time, I saw a figure behind me, a woman, her features blurred by the fogged surface. She had empty eyes and a mouth that elongated into a sinister grin, whispering directly into my ear, "Help us, Sam." I couldn't take it anymore. I bolted from my house, ran down the street, not stopping until I reached the safety of the local diner, my heart hammering in my chest. I never went back to that house, and I never will. Even now, I feel like I'm being watched, as if a pair of empty eyes are always lingering in the shadows. I'm sharing this in hopes of a warning. Trust your instincts. Sometimes a house isn't just wood and nails. Sometimes it holds secrets that are better left buried. If you hear whispers at night, don't listen. They might be beckoning you to help, but only to drag you down into the darkness with them.